Hey everyone, sorry it's been so long, life's been busy, but I'm glad to be back with you. I've got a brand new camera that I'm using. I'm really excited about it. It's a really nice Panasonic, and hopefully it'll make this video quality a little bit better. First and foremost, a big thank you to Ty Preston. He is my first subscriber. Thank you, Ty. Also, first commenter on my Seven Realms video. He corrected me on the Vale folk. That's the name of those who live right in the big city center there in the Vale. Thank you, Ty Preston, very much for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. And again, you're amazing. Thank you for being the first subscriber. Today's video is about a series called the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. I'm not sure if you can see that. I know the light's going up and down. Mistborn, The Final Empire, Brandon Sanderson. Unfortunately, I only own the ebook version of this on my Nook, but it's a fantastic series. Brandon Sanderson is a pretty seasoned author, would be the correct term. He's pretty seasoned. He does a fantastic job. This Mistborn series is really great. Parental content advisory. I kind of need your help with this, guys. I'm not 100% sure what's important or how to rate things. Books aren't necessarily like movies. They don't have an obvious rating system. This is just kind of my interpretation. If there's something you'd like me to talk about in the content advisory, please feel free to do that. First and foremost, sexual content. This book is clean. There's marriage. People wake up together. And there is some reference to the way the slaves are treated by their masters. How they go, and then afterwards they get killed. But there's no description. There's no disgusting vivid images that they describe in this book. It's fantastic. It's super clean. Language, same thing. The only profanity is in reference to a pseudo deity that is a character in the book. So they don't say oh my god. They don't say any other curse words. It's all very clean. Love it. There is some alcoholic use if you're against that sort of thing. But there's no drunken reveling. There's again nothing really, no profanity, no rape, none of that stuff that's usually involved with the drinking side of things. It's usually just a casual drink amongst friends. So it's really not extreme at all. It's a very mellow book, inappropriate content wise. It's fantastic. The book series centers around the Final Empire, it's called, run by the Lord Ruler, who is considered a sliver of infinity or a slice of God, basically. And it's really fun because it's got this really cool sort of magical system in it. The magic is called allomancy. I had to look that up again. I go through so many books and so many different forms of magic. This one's really unique though, allomancy. Alloy is kind of what it's derived from, so you can kind of get the hint that it's about metals. In this book, the allomancers can control one form of metal burning. They swallow it in their stomach, they can feel a reserve there, they activate it or burn it, and when they do this, they gain increased abilities. Some metals, pewter, for example, allow you to have more strength. Copper allows you to hide what others are burning. Bronze allows you to affect a person's emotions. Steel allows you to push on metals, and there's many more than that. There's one called Atium that lets you see a little bit into the future, and there are more that are explained further on in the series. They're really cool. Allomancers, however, can only control one metal. Mistborn, as they're called, can control all of them. And they're really cool. They're very rare. Mistborn are very rare in the book. We only ever hear about 3 or 4 in the entire series, which is fantastic. There's also furochemy. That's how I pronounce it. Furochemy, which is the storage of physical attributes in metals. So it's a totally different form. In the first book series, it's not really combined with allomancy. It's independent. It's used by what is called the Terrace people or Terracemen. They have another name which I forget at the moment. But it's the Terrace who use it. And essentially, if they are touching a piece of metal, they can store things in it, such as speed. They can give up speed by forcing their bodies to go really slow, almost feel like they're in molasses, in order to store up speed. Physical strength, again, they make themselves weak to store up strength. Eyesight, they go blind so they can store up sight. Memory is another thing. They forget things so that it can be stored in this metal. Really, really cool. And again, it's the same thing. Certain attributes go with certain types of metal. Really cool. There's also what's called hematurgy, I believe, is how it's pronounced. Blood related, hemo blood, hemorrhage, hemophilia, hematurgy, blood, and it's kind of gross. This may be the only inappropriate thing in the whole book. I mean, it's medieval sort of era, so there is some violence in it. Sorry, I forgot to mention that in the content advisory. But hematurgy is done by driving metal spikes into people. Pretty violent, pretty gross. Not my favorite. Allomancy's cooler. Although there are really cool things called chondra, and they're shapeshifters that can eat bones and muscle and reproduce them in exactness. Really cool, really cool. The story centers around the main character, Vin. She is sort of this street urchin, a ska. The ska are slaves, basically. It's ska versus noblemen, and the ska, outnumber the noblemen as usual. Basically, plantation style. How America did it. It's very disturbing. It's not fun at all. It's a wicked practice. Slaves, no good. And the ska are basically slaves, and they are not supposed to be able to use allomancy. It's supposed to be something used only by noblemen, granted them by this pseudo-deity Lord Ruler fellow. But obviously, just like we did, they take these slaves and bed them, and they're supposed to kill them, but they don't always, and it's disgusting and kind of a horrible situation. But again, they don't go into detail about it, which is nice. It's just kind of alluded to and referenced to. It follows this girl named Vin, who is a ska, who grew up in Luthadel, the big city, on thieving crews. Beaten severely basically every day by her older brother until he abandons her, goes missing. And she, as it turns out, is an allomancer, but she doesn't know it. Her crew leader, her gang leader, thieving crew leader, knows that she has it and exploits it, but never tells her, and so she doesn't know. She calls it luck. She knows that deep inside of her she can burn this luck, but she doesn't know what it is. Eventually she's discovered by a man named Kelsier, who is the hero of the first book. Through the whole book, he comes up with this plan to overthrow the nobleman and the Lord Ruler, to kill him, and to free the ska and totally change the dynamic of everything. And so it follows their kind of adventure. It turns out that Vin is a Mistborn, like Kelsier. They can control all of the metals. She becomes this crazy, awesome warrior, goes throughout the whole book series, defending and protecting the whole thing. Really fun. Really fantastic book series. Please go read it. Brandon Sanderson is a really good author. As much as it took me a little bit longer to get through the last 2 books than the first, the whole series is just fantastic. There's another book in this series called The Alloy of Law, which is set in the future, and so I'll review that one again later as well. Thank you all for listening. Thank you again, Ty Preston, for being the first subscriber and sharer of the Seven Realms. Please, everybody, continue to watch these videos. Please share them with your friends who you think might also enjoy them. Facebook, Twitter, social media. These are big deals. I need your help to show everybody else these amazing books. Please check out my Patreon page. I don't know if I'll put a thing right here or not. Patreon is basically a giant tip jar. If you like what I do, help me out. Books are expensive. You know, a $10 or $15 for a book, or $10 for an audiobook, or again, same thing for an ebook. It's expensive. It's hard to do, and I want to be able to keep getting books, supporting these authors, and sharing them with you guys. Thank you again. Please subscribe. Check out my other videos. Hopefully things will just be getting better in the recording, of these videos from now on. Thank you, and again, we love you. Have a great day.